see what we got. Came back on a little bit later than yesterday because obviously yesterday was political agendas and the next day with everything. So we're gonna see what we're working with. But today, um, you know, what we got working today, we're gonna talk about it. So let's get on board, see if you're coming through, and we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna see what we're working with. Looking forward to any conversation today. I got topics. We're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about all the things that, the common sense stuff, uh, just getting everything fine tuned, trying to get everything lined up properly. And then I'm just going to ask this question. And let me get on here and board. Cancel that. We're going to set this up right quick. So I am live. I am ready to talk and to see if anybody comes on board. Let me go add some stuff. Okay. I'm sharing it now. So let's see if we get anybody coming through. I'm going to be here as long as I get some people coming through. Um, Conversation, details. We're going to make it happen. We're going to start it now. The question is, was Kamala Harris a poor choice? Some people have interesting conversations and debates. I'm going to word it in an articulate way. Be curious as to what people have to say. I would kindly like if people were to participate if they do see forth to talk about the subject and to see how it reflects. Um, I've done videos where I don't think there's necessarily was a qualified person, whether you stand on either way of the subject. I think that you just comes down to where you are. So, but anyway, what says you? What do you think? Was she a poor choice, or she didn't have enough time, or overwhelming, or it just didn't, because people gonna have a different take about it. There's no right or wrong answer. I mean, let's be realistic. Everybody's gonna have a fundamental choice. Sometimes when you go up against there's certain type of situations. I think that as I just got through doing a video, and do check out my Mr. Max. I do my videos where you can feel free to subscribe and donate and add on the membership. I did do a poll where I said that think she would have had to play the dozens against him to win. And when you know anything about the dozens, it's mama jokes, kind of like wilding out what Nick Cannon did. Pretty much have to wild out, talk crazy, tends to work. People tend to like that, so there's something about that to be said. So, but anyway, we're gonna see if I don't get enough people to come through. I won't be here. What's up? What's happening with you? But if I get enough, I will stay on. What's happening with you, Mickey? Where you coming from? And please hit the poll question, hit the like, subscribe. Thank you. We got one vote in already, so thank you. Looking forward to how this goes. So, what we got so far. I'm going to welcome people that will give me their honest takes, thoughts, and feedback. Don't be shy. Feel free. I've got a lot of stuff going through, so let's talk about it. So anyway, come on back, Mickey. Very entertaining already, to say the least. Oh, okay, where you coming from today, if you don't mind me asking? I always like when it's somebody new that I have not encountered before. because it could be good questions. It could be, any way I welcome it. So, okay. Well, where are you coming from today? If you don't mind me asking. And did you have questions or any topics you'd like to talk about? Um, I cover a wide range on here. We discuss sports, politics, music, culture, within reason. Like to be adult about things. I don't want no one to be offended, but we will talk about different things, perspectives. Yeah. So I welcome that. So when you say I like the honesty, what interests do you have? Mind me asking, so that way we'll get, because I like to have a Q&A, and feel free to you know take that matter on. So I am looking forward to. I don't know. Okay, okay. Well, how's your day been so far? How would you describe your day? Because I do appreciate anyone that comes through. I know that there are 1,000,001 viewers, and people can go to different places and take in different spots, but I always welcome when people come through here, and I am appreciative of that. We live in like I love like friends. I like people. That's very helpful. That's very helpful. I do too. I had enough situations with dealing with people that people be judgmental and short sighted, and you don't fit this demographic, you don't fit that criteria. They got something to say, they got some problem with you. But I like it when people can be down to earth and, keep it real with you. Make you feel like you're a human being. So yeah, that's cool. You just finished high school, college. When people say school, I'm just curious what terms it means, because there's different things when you say you just finished school. So where is Wellfield that I don't have an idea? I have no idea. Feel free to elaborate. I see there's more people in the viewership. Feel free to come through. It's been low key. I worked on some videos today, done some edits, got some stuff on, and I do have a channel. Appreciate you coming through. I've actually done some videos that I just got through talking about a different array of topics. So I got some videos that are definitely I'm working on. Got another vote for the Kamala Harris, 50-50. It's going to be interesting how this poll turns out. We're going to see what people have to say about it. Um, it's been a pretty autumn type of day. Looking outside looks pretty sleepy. Those kind of days that if you have a good book or something that's chill, you might not make too much of a move because it's pretty low and balmy. So I thought this was a perfect day to have conversation and to see what people are up to. So I'm alive and well, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. See more people are coming through, so hopefully we'll get more responses, and we'll tap into a lot of different atmosphere today. So it is fun to go live, and it's fun to explore the galaxy around the world. So wherever people are coming from, please let me know where you're at, and whatever you'd like to talk about, feel free, because I am here. I'll be here for a while. I'll see how it goes, because I do want to make sure that people are coming through and conversing. And if we have good conversation and things are going good, and please hit that like and hit that subscribe, punch everything up. I would welcome that. And we get that going. Yes, what's your question? What would you like to know? I am listening. Thank you to out there whoever voted too. Got another one. 67% saying yes so far to Kamala Harris. Why don't people come to your life? Well, that can mean a different thing. I mean, sometimes people are reluctant. Sometimes they are uh, reserved. It all depends. It all depends. Some people are shy. I don't think much of it because I figured that the fix was in. I think that I think that he was selected. I don't think that they neither one of them were the best qualified people, but I think that they went with for me, the thing about it is Kamala didn't really have a vision and didn't have any depth. He doesn't really either, but it's just kind of people like the same old same. Whether they admit it or not, people aren't that progressive. They like what they know or what they think they know or what they feel familiar with. No, I'm not happy with the results. And Cyrus, there is no gonna be no harassment or anything like that. So no, we're not gonna do that here. Got to go. No, I'm not happy about none of it. I'm a reparations kind of person. I think that they should give reparations. I don't find anything in politics, but I don't mind stirring the straw, the glass, because that's just what people are going to want to talk about. But there's nothing to be happy about. It's a no-win situation for anyway. If anything, they should be trying to work together. Because to be honest with you, to me, she's probably the more ideal kind of personality to him. She represents the imagery of what's going on here. JD ain't got no depth. He ain't got no depth. He dissed the man just a couple years ago. I didn't think he do a 180 turnaround. You know, JD's not no threat for nothing. And let's be realistic. If JD was sitting in this office, that would be a joke. It would be a joke. I didn't feel like I lost anything. There was nothing to concede. There's nothing that you to move forward. You have, um, it's one of those things that um, you have to defend and not take people for granted. I don't take that mindset. I think you have to talk about reparations. I have to think you have to talk about equality. I think you have to talk about, yeah, she dissed him. She dissed him, and she didn't have. And she should have played the dozens in the situation. I think if she had been more aggressive, I just think that's what lacks is her personality and her charisma. I can tell you why she doesn't hit, but she still should have had a chance to hit. But I can tell you why she doesn't. Oh yeah, he's a very disappointing person on so many levels because it's the bully mindset and it's the way he carries himself, which is a turnoff. The racial aspect of it, there's a lot. There's a strong racial aspect of it because of the Central Park Five, which I grew up on, which cannot be disputed with him and Rudy Giuliani. Can't forget about what happened a few years ago with everything. And there's no kumbaya about this. This is a very sad, trifling time. People coming through, please smash up the likes. Glad to have a lot of people through. Feel free to hit up the likes. If you want to subscribe, donate, come on down. Let's talk about it. Yeah, well, that's what they wanted. That's what people want. People be happy about having something that they um this is what they're gonna get. I can't say it no other way. You know, that's what you got. And politics is a very divisive thing. It brings out a lot of fears in people, brings out a lot of reaction in people, good, bad, and indifferent. But I don't think neither one was necessarily qualified. They just selected. That's how I look at it. And this is the sad. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's all acting. It's all acting. 80% saying yes. So I got a lot of reaction on this poll. I'm not surprised. I expect the numbers to go up quite a bit on this one. She could have been seen over her head. Yeah, Yeah, Mr. T. There's no arguments there. We got a lot of it's a interesting time period because there's never been a situation where you kind of wonder. We've had two women run against this man in the last 10 years, almost 10, and we've had all kinds of Me Too movements and cancel culture and progressions and so on, and they can't move the needle. And we're not talking about docile, soft headed women. We're talking about women that are fully capable who have not gotten the respect or the attention. Uh, and you got to wonder, will there ever be a woman president? Will we ever get one? And then when you talk about the ethnicity and the versatility that Kamala Harris, from an imagery standpoint, but I'm not going to sit here and say that they didn't have flaws. Can't take people for granted, can't take nothing for granted, and can't keep on lobbing the same thing. You got to be aggressive. You have to make people demand, command, and make people come out and want to speak on issues. If you don't do your job, you don't. Hmm. That can mean anything you want it to mean, David. You know, it all depends on where you come down on it. As long as you feel comfortable with your choices and decisions and you sleep well at night, more power to you. I have said before and I'll say it again, I'm about reparations. I don't have a dog in the race because I don't buy into neither one of them. I saw the shortcomings on both sides, you know. And to me, it's just a situation where people wanted to string this out like a movie or a trilogy or something. It's uh it's very interesting you know, how it's all come into view. But I can tell by the poll numbers right here, this is definitely going to be, people got a strong opinion about it. 88% saying that she was a poor choice. We ain't quite there yet, but we're getting it though. Well, there's going to be just a changing of the guards, but I will tell you like this: every 4 years or 2 years, these things come and go. Sometimes people going to be mad with one side. All it is just like watching TV wrestling. You'll see. Yeah, I am. Thank you, Jay Will. I am. I decided to come on because of the politics and what's up. Decided to come on board, get on board, bring some conversation up early. I just happened to be here and I thought, why not? I had actually ran it by Ted. Yep, hitting that like button, and I got a lot of views, responses, clicks. This is how you do it. So if I can come on, I will definitely bring it on. I guess when I come, but usually I'm here. I'm about at least 3 or 4 hours earlier than I usually am. But I thought I'd come on, and we're gonna talk about different topics. But I know Kamala Harris is still a hot. She's still a hot spot for a lot of folks, good, bad, indifferent. But the question is, was she a poor choice? And we're gonna get some reaction, and we're looking forward to it. And I think that hey, why not? You know, this is the kind of conversations we have to have. Well, it's the same thing about Trump, David. He's silver spoons. His father was a millionaire. Don't play that one. Please don't. They both rich. They both had money. He's not talking to poor white people or poor black people. He comes with a silver spoon in his mouth. Remember that, you know. So, oh yeah, she'll be fine. I think that to really be a true politician, if you're going to go that route, you have to touch on subjects and issues. I think you have to be able to diversify your portfolio, have conversations, and also be in a situation. Uh, well, that's your choice. I'm not going to diss her because I think she could have been in over her head, but I think she should have approached it differently. But should that mean that she necessarily should have lost? No. But was she quite ready? No. But I don't think that there's a lot of options. So I just think that it's one of those things where we got a whole bunch of we don't know. We gonna see. I'm not gonna take that inside world, but I have funny how the Diddy comes out and Trump and Diddy take that, ha 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 ha. Always a comedian on here, but I'm not gonna allow that today. You can say something about Diddy if you want to. Be interesting if he gets pardoned, though. It's gonna be real interesting how things come and go, or is that touched? We're gonna find out who's friends and who's all. There's a lot about interesting. 83% saying yes. Got a lot. Jay Will, where you at? Come on back. If you're on here, feel free to talk. I ain't forget about nobody, none of the regulars. Of course, you got trolls and you got people that's gonna say all kinds of things. So it's okay though. Okay, I like that. I like that because at the big picture, it is about your spiritual. It's not about the man-made. This is not going to last forever. This is not the end all be all, and it's a deeper consciousness. So thank you for saying that. Appreciate you coming through with that. We got to remember that it's not about man and woman. You can't take it with you. I don't know to be mad. I just think that this is a reality. Upset. I don't know about mad. Upset, sad, disappointed. I don't have a dog in the race though. I have no dog in the race. I don't think much of neither one of them. If you want, being honest, I didn't think much of neither one of them. I didn't lose nothing because I'm not tied to selected politicians. Life goes on. I make my money. I live my life. The Lord willing to see fit. I'm not tied to this. So you're the one that's taking a L or a W. I'm not taking a L or a W about it. I think it's kind of interesting how someone is convicted and they get to do what they do because under normal circumstances, that's not the normality. But I don't have a dog in the race. I don't have a dog in the race at all. I'm not feeling either one of them. So I think I heard about it. We'll be pulling up in about 2 months when the time comes up. And he better enjoy his 4 years because it don't last much after that. And one thing for the people who don't like him or what it represents, once that 4 is up, good luck trying to find people that will hide behind that. Because the Junior Whopper version of him in Florida, DeSantis, didn't work. So there's 101. No, I didn't see that with Jason Kelce. Well, if you feel that way, more power to you. I'm not here to argue it one way or the other. He was selected. I thought they were both overrated. Now that I will agree with you on. That might be the best thing you said. I cannot co-sign that one at all because I don't know where she from. That was dirty, funky, and nasty, and that showed me someone that was out of touch. That statement alone was not a very smart look. But I have collard greens. We did them in the sink in the kitchen. I ain't never heard about no tub. I'm like, that was gross. So that to me was a major faux pas. But that's not what cost her the election like that. But it cost her cool points, cost her being down, like that was not good. No, I didn't see that with Jason Kelce. But you need to leave these fans alone. These people in these stands is crazy today. So I did not see that with Kelce. But thank you for letting me know that though. No, I did not. I thought that was gross. He threw his phone to the ground and picked it up and walked away. Had his beers in his arm. You talking about Jason Kelce? I don't even know what that was about. I don't know. I have no idea. That sounds like a personal problem. Don't do nothing to harm yourself though. That's all I can say. I welcome conversation with people talking, and please hit the like and subscribe and donations. And if you want to talk about a particular topic, let's do it. I think that this one is definitely going to strike a major chord. Thank you for all the people coming through. This is a good overwhelming here because I've never had as many at once, and this really set it off. So glad to have people coming through. And regardless of where we come down on the political side or where we come down on the this thing or that, it's good conversation. 83% saying yes, she was poor choice. More votes are coming in. Again, we talk about a lot of different subjects on here. Um, whichever you want to get into, feel free by all means. Welcome the conversation. Very lively today. Very lively. Quite the pulse, quite the rate. So we're definitely seeing a flow. And it's definitely lively. Definitely lively. So feel free. A lot of people coming in, got conversation, got thoughts and takes about stuff. Don't stop. See what we're working on. 30 votes so far, 83% saying okay. Okay. It's like people done kind of cooled off a bit. Even though the numbers are going steady. I'm again good to have so many people coming through. It's definitely putting a spin on things. It's definitely a good vibe, good feeling. Um, I knew it would. I knew this would be like one of those things that would definitely set it off. Just didn't know, but it's good. It is definitely good. So feel free to ask questions if you've got any more. Although we just had a Kamala Harris onslaught and a wow, this is quite powerful. I'm going to check a couple of things, see what I'm working with, and see where we're going. Just looking, looking, looking. See what we got. Let's see. Just going to see what we have in store. And somebody just came through. That's a great question. I am going to put the blame, and please stay with me, Jay Will, because I think that thing then kind of subsided with all the voting. Great question. I'm going to put the blame more on Giannis. Here's why. He had his coach in place. They let his former coach go. He checked off on Dame. They didn't meet up the minds to get together. Get rid of your coach. You were 32-8. What has happened since? You are the face of the team. You are the best player of the team. You are the captain of the team. And likelihood, everything revolves around you. They didn't let these coaches go. You now have had your third coach in the last 3 years. Dame is expendable. So I got to put the blame on Giannis. I'm not going to blame Dame at all because Dame wanted to go to Miami. Dame is a hired gun right now. He's just a hired hand, and he's not even a good one at that. He'll end up probably doing like Russell Westbrook, kind of getting pushed around eventually. I don't know where he'll end up. And Doc will end up with a TV commentating gig before long. Probably sit next to JJ Ridiculous before long because he's wrecking a good thing. Another wreck. Another wreck. But a great question, J. Will. Great question. But that is embarrassing, though. I mean, you're supposed to be at your powers, and the Bucks suck. So there's no excuse for that. No excuse for that. There's no reason why they should be that dreadful. And they're in the East too. I mean, the Pistons got a better record than them. For crying out loud, Tobias Harris is hitting shots. So, what's happening? What's happening? Random lyrics, where you coming from, and thank you for coming through. This a very hot happening poll. I feel pretty good. I think this is definitely the place to be today. A lot of views, a lot of people, a lot of thoughts, and it's gonna be very highly contested. Grace up and blame it. Well, Doc Rivers is not the. I don't know what to say about that. Next, you'll tell me Doc Rivers did a commercial with Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys too. I don't know. Or maybe he did one with Aaron Boone. I don't know. She lost because, again, connecting with people. I think the topics, and I think that just not having a balance and an agenda. Should she have lost? I don't think necessarily so, because I don't know how you tell me a woman who is a prosecuting attorney has something, but I don't know. Because y'all suck. That's why. What's up? Glad you're here. Look, Ted, look at all the people in here. And what's that supposed to do for you? What's that supposed to do for you? What's that going to do with y'all? Yeah, I did a video about it. I did the video. The video was up. I did my video. If you ain't checked it out, check it out. I talked about JJ Ridiculous. I laid into him. It's all up to see. Ted, look at the poll and the people that are in here today. Got a chunk. Kamala Harris is a hot topic. Better or for worse. Which video did you laugh at? Which video did you laugh at? Did you laugh at mine? Yeah, I saw that. Well, Ted had hit me up to it earlier, and I saw it, and I did an extended video because I did a basketball video and I did a video about it. I did a video about my NBA take so far because Desmond Baines calling LeBron old man and John Moran saying we don't like them, and oh, that was cracking up. And I mentioned the Shannon Sharp thing too. Oh, it was crazy up in there. It was crazy. It was crazy. JJ Ridiculous. Don't worry, he'll be up there with Doc Rivers before long. Be having a headset party. Maybe him, Doc Rivers, and Mike Meathead McCarthy can all have a show together. The Meathead Podcast. How to wreck a team. Yeah, the Wrecker Team. Not the Rucker, but the Wrecker Team Podcast. Yeah. Coming to a theater near you, the Wrecker Team. How do you wreck a team? Starring Mike Meathead McCarthy. Co-stars Doc Rivers and JJ Ridiculous. Yeah, I watched that show. I bet you that show will be a big hit because there's gonna be a lot of misses. I can't wait. And Aaron Boone will do guest commentary. Okay. See how my brain works? I got this. I be daydreaming. Anyway, if you look at this thread today, it has been incredible. Kamala Harris got 34 votes. This has been my biggest live stream yet. I like to thank everybody on these YouTube streets. Even if I never met you or you commentating or just coming here for the first time, thank you for this. This has been incredible. I'm not used to having such a full-fledged amount of views and people coming through in such a short a time period, because usually it takes a minute to get this, but we're really on to something. So Ted, wherever you are, let's get to cooking because we got quite the show. And thank you, Jay Will. Appreciate the support as usual. Steady flow of faces, and please keep on hitting those likes up too, by the way. I thank you, man. Appreciate it. I thought I would bring this one to the light because man, she's an interesting case. Was she overqualified? Well, so is Trump. She was missing personality and charisma. I think that's what some things are. Appreciate you, Ted, as always. Got much respect for you as always. And if I ever blow up big, I gotta get you bring you do live. We'll do the real version. I saw that and I'm gonna do a video about that. And Perks bought and paid for it. I like KD a lot. I like KD a lot. But when you say greatest scorer ever, you ever heard of Wilt Chamberlain? Um, have you ever heard of, Kobe to scoring? Guys who can purely score, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, come on now. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? Jay Will, that's not a hot take. That's a factual. What has CP3 ever done? And he got to the finals and he won 2 games. And then what happened? CP3 is one of those guys that is highly great during the regular season. People want to fight him as a top 5 point guard. He ain't. But he doesn't make your team better. They never won nothing. Okay. Tell me what's the problem. Tell me what's the problem. If you did that, you won't have somebody's got to do the work. Who's gonna do the work, DG? You're a nice troll, but who's gonna do the work? Okay, SS, tell me what's your problem. I am listening. Uh, I would say you have to figure out a way to pray through it. I don't know if that's a troll. There are people who do have addictions, but I would say that you have to. Well, we've been knowing he's gone. I say with anything, you have to put yourself in a frame of mind. I don't believe you're trolling. I think that you have to spiritually find yourself. I'm being serious too. If you're listening to me, pray on it and try not to think about stuff, those compulsive, those urges. I think that you have to meditate. Meditate. Ask yourself, why are you feeling this urge? What urge are you feeling exactly? You know, and I will put prayers out for you. I mean that. Kamala got good hair. She take care of herself. And when she was messing with Willie Brown, she was. That's why I think Judge Joe Brown probably got turned down by her. I think there's something to work with there. I'm available like now, and if you see me online or something, feel free to come through. I will listen to you. Um, you see me on, hit me up on any of my videos, and then give me some information. I'll get in touch with you directly. No, Kamala's cool. Oh yeah, Michelle Obama wins. We have a whole different. If Michelle Obama did it, I did a video about Yucky. I like the way he played. They go against the Lakers too. Um, I like she. I didn't like her trying to. She did. I did a video about that too. They all corrupt. Okay, you can't be a politician or work in it with not being corrupt because they all scratch each other's backs. You think one person doesn't have association with somebody? They all have association with somebody. All of them have had association with Diddy, Trump included. Okay, let's not get on this high horse that this person is an offshoot and they don't rub shoulders. They all rub shoulders because they all connected to a Hollywood system. I like it how people conveniently have amnesia. But Michelle, if Michelle just sticks to the facts, she knows how to talk, she knows how to articulate, she knows how to connect dots. Kamala don't move like that. Kamala is a politic in terms of her court and from a philosophical strategic, but she's not like that. Except she don't get the money. When's Bernie Sanders got the money? Who's putting money on Bernie Sanders? They did. It's on video, it's on pictures. They hung out in the Hamptons. They all know each other very well. And I'm thinking Diddy's hoping he'll get a pardon from Trump. And there's a lot goes on. There's a lot of stuff goes on. Lot. It's all connected. It's all connected. Bernie Sanders is what just happened. Bernie Sanders is an interesting character, but his politics people don't really clap to. Just saying, you know. They're not going to give them the kind of money. It's not just money, it's also what people are going to. He pulled it off because he told that lie at the last second about her. That's what was up with that. She won the popular vote. She should have won. She should have had she should have been in office herself. With the Tory Washington. Oh wow. Well, don't call someone stupid. And I know it's about the economy, but at the same time, is the economy any worse? It's going to be because you're about to see a recession, my friend. You about to see something that you didn't see coming. Because you know what? Before you call people names, all this pot has been stewed from the Bush administration. So what Obama had to come in behind, what Trump had to come in behind, what Biden had to come in behind has been stewing for over a decade, genius, Mr. AJ or Mrs. AJ, whichever you died to go through. Well, let me ask you this question, Jay Will. If you go to church, do you see women priests? Do you not priests, but do you see women that are ministers? If you do, it's been debunked. There's a lot of stuff that's been debunked. That's not quite how it works. And I didn't. And who are you speaking for? I say an opportunity. I didn't say because. And I don't put someone to a body part. But she's just as qualified as he is. I mean, because she actually was under a job where she was a prosecuting attorney, which does carry weight as someone that would be an administrative to Supreme Courts and to legislate laws. And he did put money on her books back in 2011, 2012. For all you Trumpikins, he did donate to Kamala Harris, in case you didn't know. Oh, I understand why Jimmy Kimmel don't like him. I understand. Because two TV actors or coast or however you want to call it, there's politics and there's agendas. I ain't got no problem with it. I'm one of the few people that's gonna say I think they both was uh, not qualified for what they did. It was a select. I'm saying select. I'm not saying I'm gonna say select. I'm gonna treat Trump like how he treated Obama. I ain't forgot or Biden. I ain't forgot nothing. Makes no difference. Trump donated to her. Look it up. All you people want to come here and say something? Not priests, but ministers. 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 What's a good point, Jay Will? Do tell. Oh yeah, well Drake, Drake's a joke. Jay Will, do tell me what's a good point though. Oh yeah, there's a lot of them. They've always been. I had an aunt of mine who was a minister for many, many, many years. Well, you got a question for me, SS? We can talk in private about that. I'm a kind of combination of places, but I will tell you this: if you stay in touch with me and you got a serious condition, we can talk about stuff. I'm definitely gonna pray for you. Vivian, I don't have a. Sometimes I spend out in the west. Sometimes I spend out in the east. Neither one, Vivian. Neither one. Wasn't impressed with neither choice. Both of them got shortcomings. Both of them are pretty flawed. However, Trump donated to her cause. So you can say all you want. A guy who's been selected twice has donated because obviously he don't put his money behind somebody unless he feels a certain way. And said person was vice president and said person did move up the ranks. So take that how you want to take it. I didn't see Eminem helping no one but Eminem. All I saw was it was going to put some sales on him. Who would use him today anyway? His peak and his prime was what, 20 years ago? I'm sorry, but rappers that are pushing 50 or 60 ain't exactly going to be instrumental for you. Yeah, they do. He Yeah, I got a video coming out about that. That'll be coming out soon. Yeah. He did. He learned from them. Hillary and Bill were his offshoot. when they were up there on Epstein Island. But you can take that what you want to take it. They all helped out. I think the Trump thing is going to run deeper than you can imagine. And I don't know if they will ever tell the truth. But there's a lot of hands in the pie. A lot of people got a hands in his Trump towers too, you know. And this bought people on these court justices and Supreme Courts and different throughout the land. There's a lot of people on board. A lot. A lot more than you can imagine. And that's why I say it's a small world with the Hollywood and the DC thing. But you're gonna see a lot of worlds come together. Vivian, neither one of them. Stop asking me. Neither one. Nothing has changed. Neither one. That's the kind of response I've been waiting for someone to use some common sense. Yes, he will. Because they two birds that flock together. Just like Dana White. And Dana White and Conor McGregor. Except the problem is that you have to be a politician to understand. A businessman is winging it by the seat of their pants. And it is a big difference when you have a big country crisis that you can't handle or you can file Chapter 11. There's a big difference. See, filing for bankruptcy ain't the same when you have a crisis that you fell flat on your face on. Lives being unalived and we're just not going to use common sense. I don't have to go back in time. But how soon people forget how long ago. Shrewd at what? Shrewd at what? Shrewd for who? Shrewd at what? That he's bought and paid for? That he had to have a show called The Apprentice to get some money? That's how he lobbied and got over? Shrewd at what? I don't find nothing shrewd about it. I didn't lose nothing because I didn't vote for neither one of them. I don't know what a legacy would be with him. Not, you can leave my channel. You're not going to tell me what to do on my own channel, so you can adios. See yourself out of here. Thank you. And that's what Diddy's trying to do too. That's what Diddy's trying to do. Yeah, because if they expose it, then again, we live. I can run so deep on this with everything that could expose, and people could have the truth staring them in the face, and they'd still walk around with some Stevie Wonder borrowed glasses. They'd put some Ray-Bans on and act like they didn't see what was glaring them in the face. But we know it runs deeper. You don't get impeached twice and have the totality of conviction without something being there. Yes, it is. It's deeper. And it's connected to Diddy and Epstein and Clintons and Bushy Jr. It's deep. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's so does Trump. Anything you can say about Diddy and Biden, Trump is involved too. They all in it. So let's not make this a one party all or one side all. They all buddies. I don't know what they're gonna have with Marcus Hayes. Because you're entitled to Trump is in it. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Just like with the whole thing with Prince, the one in England with the Andrew. Oh, yes. Let me get this thing with Marcus Hayes. I'm going to have to look into that for my own personal. It's one thing when trolls on the internet say stuff about NBA, he's never going to see you. But a columnist that covers the team, so maybe next time you'll think about crossing his lines. I just think that he was wrong. I think that Embiid shouldn't have put his hands on him. There's a way that you say stuff without putting your hands on him, especially when you talking about you don't want to play back to back, and you got to be very careful with it all sides. I was wrong. They beat Boston. Uh, I think that you are in Trollville. We don't do that kind of thing here, and you guys to go. I don't do trolls. I knew people would have to come in here and just not stick to the script. The Warriors look good. Buddy Hield looks good. It's a good pickup for them. Um, Steph is notorious for having when you don't see it coming. It's one of those that didn't see it coming. They could be a problem. And without Clay and they open up the field, they got athleticism. They could be a problem. I'm gonna tell you like this, AJ. Trump is involved with all that. They all part of the same society. You don't get in there by accident. I understand them being emotional, but you can't put your hands on nobody, okay? Let's just agree to that. You can't put your hands on nobody. And you know, they do that all the time. It's called the media. Sorry. TMZ does it all the time too. People expect you to suck it up and look the other way. It's called better score. To me, it's Steph Curry. Because Steph creates his shot. You gotta remember to shoot long-winded shots, to go left, to be versatile. He's a better scorer, better versatile scorer. Katie got an incredible shot. I'll give you that. But look at Steph Curry. Come on, man. Who's been more influential than Steph Curry as a scorer out the two? Who? And he can score from any range. He draws more coverage, but he still he creates. So you're going to make this strictly about Democrats, but you're not going to say anything about old Bushy Jr., about Bushy Jr. and the whole thing with yeah, I don't even get into about Bushy Jr. and the false narratives and the things that happen. We're not going to talk about that. And before you get into all that with Saddam and all, they had a key to the city back in 1980, back when Reagan was here. So make that make sense, okay? And we're not going to talk about Oliver North. We're not going to talk about Colin Powell and all that and those lies with Oliver North in 1987. Do you really want to go history with me? Do you really? Do you really want to go history with me? Better score? Jordan. Because he beat you different ways. He played without the rock. Now, if Steph had played in the triangle, that'd have been interesting. With a Phil Jackson, that'd have been interesting. Um, you can't look. I love Steph a lot. Steph's one of my favorite players, etc. And I'll call him a better scorer than KD, but he's Republican registered. He's not an independent. He's not individualistic. He takes on the philosophical principles, and he used Ronald Reagan as his teacher. He's following the Reaganomic thing and the Richard Nixon agenda and the George Wallace agenda. It's Republican Party. Yeah, I saw that list. And I don't know what it's going to mean because, I mean, because your top 12 players ever can mean different things. But are you going to go back to Bill Russell? Are you going to go back to Wilt Chamberlain? Are you going to mention that? Are you going to mention Kareem with or without Magic? Are you going to mention Shaq? Different things. It's all, you know, he's Republican. He's a conservative. He makes out like he's some kind of maverick. He ain't no maverick. He has not done anything but used like it almost seems like an act or ways to appear to be this champion of the yeah, most of them were. Black folk up until Dr. King took they were conservative, but it was a different type of conservative, not this mess that's out now, but conservative in value and mindset. Doesn't make you a sellout if you were adhering to it. The problem with the new one that do it is that they go over the top to act like they're trying to appeal to something. There's a conservative nature that you are as a people, and there's a conservative nature that you try to act upon. There are two different levels to it. Yes, everybody, well, Kareem would because Wilt was more wild. Wilt was a wild guy. Wilt was more entertaining, and engaging. Except Goldberg didn't have no money pull like Kamala. Most people would probably taken a Tulsa Gabbard over Trump too. Probably would have. I don't know why these percentages mean anything because the Spurs won with Tim Duncan. They won 5 rings with 6 finals appearances. Curry is a special player. You cannot even put into context what he means. That's why he's a top 10 player. He's a top 10 player. When it's all said and done, he's one of the 10 greatest players ever, whether people like it or not. Think the statistics, you can use that. He's a top 10 player. You can't even really capture what he does without the ball because he really sets everything up. And it's done at such a high level. It really is. Uncanny. Changed the course of the game as I've watched it. I've not seen anything like Steph Curry. I've seen a lot of people trying to emulate it. Oh, I got to hear people talk about Kyrie's got better handles and Dame's got a long shot and this and that. But Curry's impact, you can't even put in perspective. He hit you with those embarrassing 30-foot shots. They just hurt you. And they're normal for him. And then he'll break you off and drive to the hole on you, go with a hard left, shimmy on you and pop on you, not even look at you. And then if he's got teammates that are playing in unison, Steve Kerr needs this year to be a great year. That's all I'm going to say about that. He needs a great year this year. He might get it. But anyway, that's my thoughts and takes about that thing before people come out here talking about, uh, all the parties are together. All of them work in unison in concert. I give Kerr about 2 to 3 more after this year. If he's healthy, he's got to be healthy and motivated. First of all, woke was a black cultural term, what black folks went through. Okay. Cancel culture was speaking to women who were Hollywood and the establishment. And that had to do with people who violated certain things and so on forth. So the bottom line is it's nothing wrong with having terms and phrases if you adhere to it. They didn't do it. The Democratic Party did not stay woke. They did not cancel culture. If anything, they got comfortable culture. AJ. See, had they been woke about issues, they would have been talking about reparations. They would have been talking about affirmative action for black folks. You see, it's not too far left. What is too far left? You act like you got like this free pie in the sky and everybody's kumbaya. We still have racial resentment. We still have division. We still have tension. What is so far left? What is that? I haven't seen it in my lifetime. I have not seen it in my lifetime. I'm taking Kobe out and I'm taking Akeem out. Somebody think they funny, but they gonna get removed. I know the slyness of that. No, I just think that when you make assumptions about this far left, you act like people are getting rich and they're living where we have ownership. And let me tell you something: if we were so woke and so this and that, there would be more black people that would have a say in Congress. You wouldn't have only had 3 Supreme Court justices. You would not have only had one African American president, one vice president African American descent. You would have a slew of people. Be like Tiger Woods. You got one black golfer, you'd have more. Thank you, Ted. Preach to it. When you start talking this talk about with it, you haven't had this overflow of people with being able to inflex their money. Don't come at me about Diddy being a former billionaire or Jay-Z or Dr. Dre or Oprah, a handful of people, when you still have many people that are not on par with society because there has been a big discrepancy that has not brought everybody together. I think that they got comfortable. Yes, thank you. That's true. I think they got comfortable. I think there's this false sense that if we keep doing the fish fry on Friday and we, shuffle along and don't ever speak on something, when you don't stick to reparations, when you don't stick to Black Lives Matter, when you don't stick to about the police brutality, when you get comfortable and complacent and you take that day off, you have to stay on it. Well, it takes two sides to tango. When people say a dim state or blue state, you still have red folks there. You still have people who are leaders and they are co opting one another. Let me enlighten some people on some stuff. When they when they leave to go from the Senate in the summertime, the Supreme they shut down. They play softball games together in September. They're not this. It's just like watching TV wrestling. All you hear is "Oh, you suck, you this and that." Mitch McConnell talked about how much an idiot Trump is. Trump gets back. He's like, "Yes, what can I do for you?" There's always been more white quarterbacks. We went through that in the 40s. As long as the NFL has been around, the NFL just started having predominantly black quarterbacks in the last 10 years. You had the first two black quarterbacks start against each other in Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurt 2 years ago. Let that sink in. So my point is that when you talk about leadership opportunity, it's there before your eyes. You see, the denial has been real, and it's been this oh well how we operate. You have to have a balance. That's all I'm saying. There is none of that. No, I ain't seen the American cricket team. I think that's a little subtle diss, but that's okay. Doug Williams won, and he went from 88, and it wasn't until 2013 then you had Russell Wilson win. So let that sink in. We have plenty of that, Rick Ramirez. Yeah, after all this time, America was built off of immigration. So all this talk about trying to act like something is not is crazy. I think I got somebody trolling, so I can't have that on here. But if you understand the historical implications, when you people use the code words, I know, and they up here talking about they talking about they don't like woke and they talk about cancel culture. Well, see, first of all, the woke was used for black folks who were Jim Crowism, which was used in the military that was separate and not equal, all the way to the Brown versus Board of Education with Thurgood Marshall. And then we get to the 60s. It's only the last 60 and reverse racism, which is hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm taking the Heat because if he had had a guy like Chris Bosh when he was averaging 30 points a game and he played great that year, I think the Heat win. But he needed that though. More of what he's done before. A lot of hot air. Yeah, because we don't have an all live. We don't live in that kind of society. To have an all matter, you gotta eliminate police brutality. You gotta remember it's systematic institutionalized racism. That's the only time when I can go into the bank and I don't get harassed and I get a loan, cash a check out, no one is tripping. I want to go test drive a car. I want to go move to a new neighborhood. Yeah, upset with it because it's not seen that you belong on that par. The next 4 years are going to be like the way it was when he was before. He will try to talk dictatorship. He will try to implement some people, and a lot of them will fall by the wayside. And what will happen is every 2 years, when it comes to a 2 year with a congressional, the Democrats will come in and take over. All they do is play rotating musical chairs. Ain't nothing gonna change with what he do. His rhetoric gonna be the same. He gonna try to implement this and use scare tactics and downplay and regurgitate a lot of stuff that he's doing. And run one thing about him too, he's getting older. He's not getting younger. So he's gonna be even more double down in his philosophies and his ideas. He won't work with people, and he will use his token rappers or his artistry to make it look like he's understanding of people. You know. Now I'm gonna be curious what happens with Diddy. Will he reach out for some people like that, or Suge Knight, or R. Kelly, or something like that? Because that's the people he identify with. Pretty much. And of course, he's gonna have his standby crew. Well, because he's in, with, you know, yeah, they feel like they aren't it. You give them a You cut the cookie in half and you take the nuts off. And they say, oh, we were honored to have a piece of the cookie, boss. That's what the tokens do. The tokens will take a little piece of cookie and they said, now you be good. I'll get some glue and sew it together. And they'll be waiting for it. That's what happens when you're the token. Am I concerned about them? You should be concerned about the gangs that are associated with Trump, the gangs that are associated with the Supreme Court gang. All of it is problematic, but it's all done on purpose. But one thing don't work without the other. It's all in concert. You don't get to do anything without it being legislated through both parties. It's nothing by accident. Yeah, it's real. It is real. And there'll be a lot of them that'll be so happy to take that mantle and that high. They'll be very happy about it. Very happy about it. I can't get over today. This is the biggest live stream I've done yet. And it's, you know, incredible to say the least. A lot of comments. This is great. At this rate, I'm definitely gonna. Oh yeah, and you remember Vinny? Yeah, what happened to him? Yeah, Vinny. And see, the problem with him is that he didn't have no personality. Had he had some personality, he was a junior whopper, triple junior whopper Trump, and a double whopper DeSantis. They ran him out. He will do what he do because this is the real problem. The people that they put into a situation, they'll be 40 something, and then they will keep the hate going. Might be. Who's distanced himself from Trump now? Seems to be. Well, if you have the right topic, you have to have the right topic, the right crew. And if I can do it, yes. Oh yeah, because because he talks a little bit loose and he don't have no action. He talks like Candace Owens did, and he ain't got no juice. He's lighting the cakes and full. So and when in politics, when I say you're lighting the cakes, that's the same thing as I said in basketball, or as Shannon Sharp would say, you ain't got no bricks in your back. He ain't got no bricks in the back. He's lighting the cakes. They don't take him serious. He's just a wild card. The world premieres of the video. It's a live stream that I did, and people have come through. I don't know why it would hurt her. I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you're born black in America and you claim to have any kind of black in your blood or what have you, how would that help you? If anything, but people will in this day and time, though, this day and time, um, ethnicity and people being multiracial, etc. It would be more. You would. This would have been the golden time of the Aquarius of it to actually propel her more so. Just saying, would have been even bigger for her at this time. So, what did you expect? Paul George comes off like an idiot. I mean, that was one. And how is it looking? Nick Nurse signed up for that mess. They are messy. Even if we take out the whole situation, I've lived there. I do spend some time there. Even if we take out the situation of the journalist and Embiid's still in street clothes. He ain't playing. And they don't have their team. How are you going to start with that? I agree with that, Ted. I agree with that. But that happens all the time. That's why you had the term the Wiggers, and you know, people been doing that forever and a day. Al Jolson, Birth of a Nation, Woodrow Wilson had that movie in the White House. That's what there's always been. It's always been this fun. There's truth to that, but people do it all the time. But yeah, they do it all the time. Yep. Well, again, it's done. Things are very separate. I mean, it's like what I've been hearing about in Hollywood with the LGBTQ community. The divide is real. So just because people are, choices and what have you, the divide is real. Well, that's why her name, think about her name, J Lo. Now she's Jennifer Lopez, but when she wants to cosplay, she's Jenny from the block. Remember, that's how she got over. And it was a black man that helped her career. I don't try to think about him. I seen the previews with him on Vlad, which I don't click on. He doesn't have a lock on it. How's he got a lock on it? He's begging the master to give him $12 million. They went and got Cam Newton. They went and got Shannon Sharp. That can let him go anytime. Pat McAfee got his job. Does he have a lock on that? He doesn't want McAfee there. There's a lot of people that work on that set that Stephen A has to kiss the ring to. He's just doing what he got to do because he's trying to get that 401, and he doesn't have a clue because the kind of way he presents himself, he would never make it as an independent content creator. Oh, that's a great question. I am going to shock you when I say this. I'm going to say Shaquan, and for one simple fact, Jalen Hurts is not the equivalent to Lamar Jackson. Shaquan has been balling all the way. Derrick Henry is playing at a great level, but he's almost, there's no rumors. They got down. I'm taking Shaquan because Shaquan been playing like that. It took Jalen Hurts him to come to him. Shaquan Henry's playing great, but Derrick Henry never fell off. But I'm more impressed with Shaquan because the Eagles are starting to look good together. I'm not sold on Baltimore, but Derrick Henry's been Derrick Henry. Barkley is bad. Derrick Henry is a beast. Okay, both from Hall of Fame backs, both great. But asking me who's playing, I'd give a slight edge to Shaquan only because he's had to do more. Because Jalen Hurts was not playing at MVP level like Lamar Jackson. That's why I have to give Shaquan the edge there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to dispute you, Ted, but what I'm saying is because of what he's had to do. That's why. All right, Mickey. No, he's not a bum. It's just that the reality of being a quarterback for the Chicago Bears and their follies, that's what it is. It's not that he's a bum. It's just that that dumbness last week against Washington and then they got spanked by Arizona. Both of them are Hall of Famers to me, Shaquan and Derrick Henry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because they consistent. I know they running like they free. Ted and I talk about this all the time about Saudi Arabia and Peru, and when you're in the way off in the ditch somewhere, they're playing like they free men. That's what running free looks like. The Bears are an average team. A lot of it is the coaching. If I'm a coach, I don't let my player act all cute and flaunt like that. You're supposed to beat Washington. If you beat Washington, who's arguably the hottest team going in the NFC that's not named Detroit, you're in a situation where you might contest Detroit or Green Bay, catch somebody slipping. But the way you lost that game, then you got smacked like that by Arizona, you better beat New England by 10, 15, 20 points. Anything less than 10, they're going to look at you sideways. The Bears are the Bears. And as Denny Green, as I went on their football pages, this one is for Ted, they were like, well, they are who we thought they were. Yeah. And he did say that ironically when they played the Cardinals that time. Ironically. Talk about deja vu. Because that's that Monday night. Marvin Harrison, because he had a better straightforward career. AB was more talented in terms of gift. But what are we talking about? You talking about the pure receiver or you talking about the gift? Pure receiver, I'm going Marvin Harrison. It's not your own, it's just the mindset. But I feel bad for Bear fans. I feel bad for Bear fans. You probably won't either until you do something. When you can run those back end routes that he can to the end zone and catch that ball over your shoulder, there's nothing overrated about that. Does his son look overrated? Are you gonna get Marvin Harrison Jr. mixed up with Bronny James in a lineup? Who looks like they belong in the pros? Yeah, the political convo was better for you. I think that obviously I used that. I might do that from time to time. I might do that from time to time. I think that does attract more people because people are got comments and thoughts about it. Um, I probably will do that from time to time because I think we can veer into different lanes. Let's keep it 100. Politics is in everything. And Donald Trump was rumored to almost bought the Buffalo Bills. Oh, God. I shudder the thought of that. But there is a sports link to it. And a lot of the NFL owners love him. So I think, thank you, Lynn. I think they will mess with some form of Social Security, but not right away. But I think they will definitely try to with the budget. What you mean? What? What you mean? What? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you what? The part about the Trump part and the bills? 2014. You never heard about that? I think that they will. I think he wants to. They want to. With everything that happened in 2020 was after going after certain age, certain people. So I definitely think they want to mess with people's. They keep pushing the numbers up for you to collect. Yeah, 2014. There was a rumor he was trying to get in on it. Well, you do know about the USFL back in the 80s with the New Jersey Generals and Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie and them. So it's not his first foray into sports. He's had a previous hand and he messed that up. Yeah, I would. I could not tolerate the stand the thought of him being associated with that. He already had a free pass when he had the Supreme Court because they have already but said that, so it's already bought and paid for. So you're about to see some of the most craziest stuff you could imagine to an extent. That does not mean that everything will pass, though. That does not mean because one thing about it, there will still be some things that won't. If he doesn't, it won't be for not lack of trying. They look they haven't even hit their peak as far as offense. They're not even close. They're only probably scaling 25%. That's the scary part. Oh, that's a good one. I've never been asked that one before. That's a good one. I will have to give it to Aikman. He got the most of what he had. Big Ben was more talented to me, but Aikman got the most of what he had. He utilized his strength a lot. He dictated more, and he didn't let loose change get away. He handled business. If Big Ben had what Aikman had as far as finishing up, he'd be in the top 5 greatest quarterbacks ever. Well, they ran with precision. One thing about Mahomes, when he's got to finish you off, he doesn't make the same mistakes that he does through 4 quarters. Tampa Bay, though, should have you try to go on for 2 or win the game, but he don't give him that. He was a better talent, I think, but he didn't have the Aikman. When Aikman got that scent to finishing up, he finished up. He was tough. He won't go down. Neither one of them are top 10 quarterbacks ever, in my opinion. Okay. Let's just cut to the chase on that before you ask. But they both had something, Well, yeah, he's tripping about that. He's tripping on that. You because Mahomes has surpassed Peyton Manning. He's got more rings than him, and he's got the same amount of Super Bowl appearances. We're not talking about somebody that's in one or two. That's what they forget for now because it's all wine glasses and cheers until he says it does something stupid because he will have to concede. Is he top 10? Why don't you ask the people in the room if he's top 10? Anybody want to respond? Is Aaron Rodgers top 10? See what you say. Because I got Mahomes, Brady Montana. You can make Peyton Manning. Dan Marino, John Elway. So that's 6 right there. Then Roger Staubach is in there. So that's 8 right there. He might be at the bottom end. Yeah. But he's falling off so bad. He's falling off so bad. And then you could debate Brett Favre if you want him and Aaron Rodgers. You can make debates. Depends on Dan Marino's gonna get strong love. Depends on what your debate is. You know, it's debatable. I just said I don't have not for me. I don't know. I don't put Bree. I put Johnny Unitas in out of respect. Breeze would have been who's top 4? My top 4. My top 4 is Mahomes, Brady, Montana, and probably Elway. Then I can put Peyton Manning in the 5th slot. That's my top 5. And then you got Marino, which could be 6 if you choose to. Starbuck. It all depends on what you're going. I got 7 guys I'm already thinking of. So there you go. So Johnny Unitas. I got a nice troll here called Pure Blood. You guys to go. Can't deal with that. Okay, so that's mine too, Jay Will. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Not top 10. Numbers were great, but I don't think would merit top 10. Denver won, and I think somebody might use it against him. Talented quarterback, though, and probably would fit in the 11 to 20 slot, yeah. But then again, I have to think about other quarterbacks, and there's a lot of factors that I have to consider. But not top 10, no. No. Because believe it or not, Dan Fouts won't get more love than Drew Brees. But we have to do that as a separate entity, though. I ain't got no problem with that, though. But this top 10 quarterbacks, hey, that's a good argument, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to think about that for a moment. I haven't even thought about that. Let me get back to you on that one. No, 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 because you see a guy like Jared Goff and Staff, and they're not done. Lynn, the reason why I have short videos and long videos, I have the minute ones that I do, which is the short videos, and then I have the long ones that you have to think they'll come about. I get views on both. Uh, it all depends. Some of the videos are longer than others. It depends on the subject matter I'm doing. There's a short and a long of the same videos, but sometimes you get the whole thing. I think pocket passers are still alive and well. Most quarterbacks do pocket. CJ Stroud starts off in the pocket. He don't run. Mahomes doesn't run. He pocket, but he didn't. He moves. Lamar Jackson is starting to do it too. Oh shoot, this is easy. I'm starting Steve Smith. I'm benching Andre Johnson, and I'm cutting Chad Johnson. That's a no-brainer. You gotta come up with a better one than that. Andre Johnson is a guy that should be getting way more love. He's underrated. Steve Smith was a bad boy because he was kind of like the Allen Iverson of receivers. And Chad I liked him, but he's too much gimmicks. And he went to New England. You saw what happened. He was lost. He wanted to get out from the Clippers. What the heck did he expect? What has he done? First of all, I don't want to have when he was with Cincinnati, but he didn't do nothing in New England. I don't want to hear Paul George like he's supposed to get a tribute video for the Clippers when he was he was and what happened in the locker when he couldn't even hit the ball and he was all off and he just never came up big. He ain't mirroring all this hype. What these cats be getting this sentimental? You weren't even a Clipper. You're a Pacer at heart. The heck you crying about? bust their butt up and win a game. Uh, what banner did he put? Did he put? Paul George got the Nick Wright banners. That's what he's got. The could have been banner. Why don't you go sit on the show with First Things First with Nick Broussard and Wiles, and you'll get your could have been banner. The could have been banner. That's what you'll get. Give me a break. He crazy for that one. He tripping. The could have been banner. Paul George is the a playing tournament banner. Yeah, all that. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. He ran to places and he's so people give Durant a hard time about being the Junior Whopper and LeBron are running. Well, Paul George has done it too. And the injury he had 10 years ago, I understand, but his running and going to places and not finishing and just wearing a uniform and underachieving, he'd have been so much more respected had he went to one or two teams as opposed to just running behind people. That's highly debatable. Yeah, well, because he would have let him stat pad for 30 years. And he talks too much too. But he's your next Gilbert Arenas. Mark my words, when he gets a podcast in 5, 10 years, mark my words, he'll talk as crazier than Gilbert. Watch. I will have Bradley Beal coming on talking about, had I had an opportunity, I could have been as great as Steph Curry. I just couldn't get to the guy. He'll say something stupid. I'm telling you, he's gonna be the next Gilbert. I'm telling you, you know, I'm telling you. You'll see. I can see it coming. I so see it coming. You'll see. He talking crazy already about the 60 win last year. Carl, that's too subjective. That's too subjective. There's too many to pick. And there's different weight classes and you know, and your criteria is different. You know. It ain't Rocky Marciano, it ain't Floyd Mayweather. Let's get those two, despite a no-loss record. That's not what makes you the greatest boxer. But they technique, weight class, it's too much. We can pick who we think, who we like, but there's eras to it, there's styles to it. It's too subjective. And boxing is a very complex situation too. So he would be high on my list because he fought 100 round fights. Plus, he also had to fight the crowd and the politics and everything. He would be high on my list. You can make a strong case. You could say he was like the Wilt Chamberlain, Barry Bonds of boxers. You can, so. But, again, it's all subjective, though. All subjective. No, we're not going to find out what he died of. He was just older. He had some health issues. He had a stroke. I want to say it's 2016 or something because he was walking with a walker. And I kind of almost have forgot about it. I know he'd been running his mouth the last 10 years because he had a lot to say about people's sexuality. And he definitely had a lot of being his bonnet about Michael Jackson. And, and he had a lot to say about Trump. I did a video. He spoke up a lot of people, you know. But I am always curious about the popularity of him. He was, it's a lot to digest when I talk about him. He was important musical landscape. That's how I would describe him. Some things he got more credit than he should have. Some things he didn't get enough. But he was, he lived to be 91. As long as Quincy Jones lived and what he went through, you thought he was 191. It was a lot of life there. A lot of life. I liked him when he was technical though, because he could tell you about arrangements and stuff. That is the comment that I like, Carl. Thank you so much. I did a video about that, as a matter of fact. It's on my, if you look at my YouTube channel and you look at my videos, I did a video about that very fact What are we gonna do about that? That elephant in the room is gonna be dangling. What are we gonna do about that now? It's a touchy subject, Ted. He his daughter's got all the distinctive African names, and he veered in different places. Now his former wife, Peggy Lipton, who passed away, was white, said that he wasn't militant, he didn't smoke drugs. He was different than most black men. He did go through it when he was courting her, though, because it's in her book that her parents, despite him being Quincy Jones, the producer and the renowned, this was in the early 70s when everybody's supposed to be all free loving and easy, still saw him as a black man. So he went through issues. Um, I think he spoke on, well, obviously, the way he grew up playing with Lionel Hampton, Eckstein, and the black jazz greats, he had, he was the first brother to be a president of a label with Mercury Records and Leslie Goes It's My Party. So he had crossover and experiences. Um, I would say more or less I'd say that there was like a, he fit in. But I also think that, he also had crazy crossover appeal. He hosted those Oscars and the Grammy boards and all that. He was a hood dude. He came from the shy. So it wasn't like he was, so just like Ray Charles. They grew up together in Seattle, Bremerton, outside of Seattle. So it was, I would say he's like one of those kind of cats that he balanced in that livelihood. Yeah, Bremerton, Washington. When he was 14, his family moved from Chicago to Seattle, called the Greyhound. And it's in the movie Ray. Lawrence Tate was portraying Ray. And he's playing Quincy Jones. He was playing Quincy Jones because Jamie Foxx was playing Ray. Let me get it right. But yeah, and Ray taught him a lot of stuff. The funniest story I heard about Ray Charles and Quincy is that Ray Charles used to cook chicken in the dark. He could fry chicken in the dark. Ray Charles is something else, though, y'all. You should read his book if you never. Oh yeah, yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. You heard what he said about Elvis Presley? You ever seen that video with Bob Costas and Ray Charles talking about Elvis? And he told Costa, he says, I might lose some of lose some fans, but I'm gonna look it up. If you've never seen that video with Bob, because Bob Costa's hair about puffed, and Bob Costa's always kept his hair down. But when Ray Charles said Elvis took from black artists, he said, I don't see nothing special. Ray was not Ray never no. Ray was real. Ray was a real one. So check that out. Yeah. I thought Presley could sing. He was charismatic. But at the same time, he didn't do nothing that Jackie Wilson couldn't do better. But James Brown Wilson and them all liked him. You know, Little Richard gave him some dap, but he didn't do nothing that they couldn't do better. But he could sing, and he did holiday songs. He could do Christmas songs. And he could do holiday music. I give him his due. He could sing, and he was charismatic. But he didn't do nothing that you sit there and you go, oh. But he had charisma about him. Give him that. Quincy also said he had a chance to work with him, but he turned him down. Though Quincy didn't think a lot of him. At that, the way the people would talk and walk. Now Elvis denied it, and Cissy Houston, Whitney's mama, denied it too. So, you know. Well, now I just read a lot. When I was coming along, we had books and we watched, the super highway with all the Wikipedia and all this stuff. That's after the fact. Um, I was fortunate, nothing special, but my grandparents made me read because you remember it was against the law for black folks to read. So uh, you learned as much as you could, and you did, and I still do. I appreciate you, Lynn. I'm a reader for character. I'm not gonna say he was hardcore, but he was a product of his time. I'm gonna say that, and I don't think he would have if he'd have came back in 1994 with his. Thank you so much. He'd have come across, and I had older black folks that were very instrumental in my life. Hey, he'd have came back to see Lisa Marie lean up there with Michael. He was he was acceptable because he was talented as all get out, but he was still a token. And the thing about it was, Sinatra is the one that opened up the doors as far as saying, "Hey, don't treat him like Pookie and Mookie." Because if it wasn't for Sinatra, he was gonna have to eat after he performed in the kitchen. They had no love for him, and it wasn't that long ago. See, when people act like we're talking about, oh yeah, he was. Listen, I'll say this: one of the greatest entertainers ever, influential. Uh, uh, but yeah, he was into voodoo and all freaky. He was pre-Puffy Diddy situation. I hadn't heard so many some of Sammy stuff was wild, wild, wild. There's nothing new under the sun. So, um, it's well, then that means that the Sixers will. Oh well, they all of them gave him. It wasn't just the mob; it was also Sammy. It was the one of them heads at one of those Hollywood studios when he was involved with the actress. That was the after the fact. They told him they're gonna put the other eye out. Well, you're already hurt before your season started because your main player didn't play, and then your next player that you signed didn't play, and now your next one is out. How does it feel when your fourth? You remember I said the four tops? He did cross over. I'll explain in just a second. Tobias Harris is looking good in Detroit, by the way. Hate to rub it in, but TH is looking good. Um, he did cross over. He had impact. He did movies. So, do you believe in the sports, gambling, and everything that's going on today? You see, sports is what's happening. You see sports being. You see the numbers in the streaming. Yeah, the streaming is another form of connection. Artists aren't getting paid any money. So, yeah. What do you think this whole stream thing is about? It's another way. Jay Will, I will say this to you. When he plays like he's supposed to, you can make a case top 3. I'll give you that. But this and the waste of his career, that's what's so. See, going into the season, I say he's one of the 4 best players going today. But I can't, with good faith, believe in what he's doing because he just doesn't play. And his mental game is worse than his physical. He's not better than Jokic, though. Even if he played at his best, he's not better than Jokic. He doesn't compute. He doesn't compartmentalize the game like Jokic does. Jokic beats you with the pass, the run. Jokic is more LeBron than LeBron is to me. Because there is no Tyrese Mack. You can make the case as much as I like whatchamacallit for the Nuggets at guard, much as I like him, he ain't consistent. He ain't consistent. And when he's in Philly, but when he goes to Denver, he goes AWOL. Yeah, Murray. You can make an argument with Murray and Maxey. Murray, when he plays good, can look like something, but we don't get the consistency. But Jokic has to do that every night. This man, the last 4 years, the 2020s, the crazy games he puts up every night. Embiid ain't touching that. If he played like that, then I might say, okay, I can understand him. I won't play back to back. Jokic does this every night. He has to play at a high level. Embiid has had actually more talent around him. He had James Harden. I don't care past the pool date or not. He had a Harding. He got a Paul George. He's had some names. Maxey is a baller. Once we get past Jamal Murray, well, that's a loyal fan. And that is if you don't like the Knicks, you really don't like Thibodeau. That D Rose injury was sad though, and it could have been prevented. Okay, so far I got 70 votes. This is 80% saying yes, she was a poor choice. That's overwhelming. Very overwhelming. This has been a historical night for me with all the people coming through. I really am going to make this. This is definitely a revelation that, hey, maybe I'll come on early if I can. If I can. This is very much a revelation. I'm going to be on for at least 20 more minutes today. So, because I've been on for almost 2 hours. It's been incredible. Donald Driver. If we talking about Derek Mason from the Titans, yeah, yeah. I like Mason, but come on now, Donald Driver was a big part. But Mason did come through for the Titans. That's a funny names I haven't heard in a while, especially Derek Mason. I never hear anyone talk about Mace. But yeah, we had quite the outpouring of people coming through. Um, this has been great, and please keep on hitting the likes up too, because I would appreciate that. If you're coming on, feel free to hit the likes. Admittedly, last season I didn't watch all the games late, but I think it's a combination, Lynn. That's a great question you ask. I think it's a combination. I think that there is something that's affecting his body, but I think that he's also in his feelings. He doesn't quite know how to get to the next level. He's just got to play through it though. Yeah, it's real. It's real. Politics is a very divisive situation, and you know, if you want to get people triggered and get people involved in something, you definitely will see the components of it because it definitely rears its head. You find that out. So, boy, the number it's been. This is great, though. I'll tell you. I have not seen this. This is like incredible. Do you ever miss living in the States? There's things that I do. There's things that I don't. It all depends on what we're coming with it with. Um, the politics I don't. The things I miss are like certain type of things that are familiar, certain vibes, because you just kind of head nod and you bop. It's different, different, but it's all pluses and minuses, you know. So it all depends. Let's just say that no matter where I go, I'd figure it out because I usually pick up the vibes of a place. You don't forget it. Let's just say that you won't soon forget it, but it does make a difference, though. Definitely makes a difference. It's a good question. I appreciate that, though. Definitely. What's so funny to you? What's so funny? Do tell. I need a laugh. I did my NBA thoughts and takes too, by the way. Oh, butterball. Oh, roly poly. I don't know why people are crying like they really thought that I mean, maybe I didn't get the memo. I'm disappointed uh because of that election, but um I don't know what that means, and I don't use that kind of talk on here, so you gotta go. But he can call it that. She just has to work on some personality, yo. Let me describe Kamala like this. You ever had a dinner that you put together and it didn't have no sauce and no flavor, but it was well put together. It just was bland. It just was there. That's kind of how she is. She just ain't got no flavor. If you don't want no flavor in your food, but you want it to be perfect, there you go. But if you want to put some lean in it, Michael Eric Dyson. Is he still trying to mac on that? Oh, I call him Instinct, In Sync, JD In Sync. That's what it remind me of, like a boy band. One of them boy bands. JD Street Boys. One of them boy bands. I just look at him like a backside boy or In Sync or known on JD Degrees. That's what I look at him as. I look at him like a boy band because to me he's like an actor. You know how they had them older cats that were in these boy groups? That's what he's like. Or JD Chance. JD's Chance. So, you know he's next in line. They got him hooked up for something. I don't know. Well, Trump won't be able to run no more. He's done. You only get 2 terms to run. And he didn't ran 3 and it's 2. That's it. So he's done. Now, who can they anoint? I don't know. They won't win nothing for the next 8 after that, though, because what'll happen is that they will have to find 2 new faces. Could Kamala come back in 4? I don't know. Will she want to come back in 4? I don't know. I wouldn't do it if I were her because I think this is the best. Your channel may be temporary or permanently restricted from live streaming. If your account is restricted, you can't live stream. Oh, YouTube just sent me something about these guidelines. What has gone on? Okay. I had never seen that before. I saw that. I already saw that. Oh, that was. Oh, I was like, oh Lord, what did I say? Oh wow, I don't even know. I, God, yeah, I'm getting ready to say I ain't say nothing foul. I've been watching what I say because I know they be watching. Lord knows that they be watching me. And I had to think that for a moment. Yeah, I saw that thing about Bane called "You Got Me Good." Is this April Fools? That's a good April Fools Day joke. That was hilarious. Thank you. Scottie Pippen Jr. got a nice little game. He got a nice little. Yeah, I saw that at the end of the game. Yeah, I'm speaking. Uh, yeah, Scottie Pippen looked good. He looked good last night, and I was laughing when Bane said, "Oh man," he did put 39 on him last night, but um, somebody actually calls themselves YouTube community guidelines. That's hilarious. That is the ultimate troll on here. That is the king of troll right there. Oh wow. Now I know I didn't get no sign. I ain't said nothing on here that would, you know. But you do watch what you say though. That's funny. Somebody's calling themselves that there. Yeah, when you get to be about 80 years old, I mean, Trump's getting to that age now. I mean, think about it. I think that you start to, look at Mitch McConnell when he freezing on TV. We don't, you know, you ain't never lie. I thought, well, I think that's only fitting because I'm doing the craziest numbers I've ever done here. I've never had as many views as I've had on one stream. So I'm thinking, whoa, this thing turned. But I think that because of the political nature, yeah, it's crazy. They sure would spook a lot. But see, I don't put nothing out there. Yeah. That's been around since the 40s. And it was been around. It was a black colloquialism. Hip hop took it, and then now it's become mainstream, but it's still a code. So that's all. 75 votes so far, 80% saying yes, she was not, she was a poor choice. That's okay though. You can take a negative and make it a positive for you. That's all he done today. Well, age limits, if you of a certain age and you can't cope, I do think someone after 80. Obviously, we saw Joe Biden falling asleep all the time and Trump's getting there. So I think there should be some kind of limit, especially when you're in, offices. They put an age to when you can become president. You got to be at least 35 years old. So most times people are around a certain age, somewhere between 40 and 75 is what they would ask you to be. So there is limits. So why not? You can't be just any age to drive. You can't be just any age to drink. So why not? Yeah, sure. They will do that though in time. They got limits in terms of how many times you can run for office. So why not? Only because Trump lost the second time is the reason why he was able to come back this time. So that's all that is. So yeah, there should be limits as far as politics go. I think it'll come in some form of capacity, but I think that what they'll do is that it won't be in a sense they because the fact that they're even mentioning it and kind of scooting it, that it'll come in some kind of capacity, but in totality, it's hard to say. But it's definitely going to be something that will emerge in some kind of a one off or a two off. The problem is can they ever pay the actual amount? I don't think they want to do that because if they had to pay everybody black the actual amount, there would be a lot of people that would be pushing the billionaire threshold. And the truth of the matter is, when you settle that, you'd have to settle it in a way that would balance out communities, balance out where it would carry a line of language that would basically make everything equal and fair ground. So I like to think there'll be an era that comes along that'll look back on this time and think that was embarrassing because things weren't ever taken care of the way they were supposed to. So please hit the like. If anyone hasn't hit the likes, please do. And we do have another poll. It's 77. Well, it's just gonna be common sense because again, with everything, I hate to say this, and me and Ted had this conversation some time ago, and I've said this before. The way you end up having stuff change is you almost have to have more George Floyd situations. I hate to say it like that, but it almost takes something that eerie and that sad that people have to come around to do common sense things. That's the sad reality. Because that really did get the ball rolling in a strange, sad way, unfortunately. And that's the sad reality that it takes that 81% saying yes, quite a few votes. I think I'm getting more poll action than Kamala did as far as that the ballots, because these people are definitely lighting this board up. That's all good though. So we definitely are staying steady. But anyway, that's what's up though. So it's a possibility, but at 57, I think it probably would want to come in the next 20, 30 years. And again, God willing, how long we get to see it, with time. But I do believe it'll happen though. That's the sad reality because unfortunately, when he was unalived, there was almost like this scare factor. And it shook people up for just a moment enough. And that's the sad things that I see. But then I have to go back and wonder about Emmett Till. They've done everything but give him his due. There's not been anything done for Trayvon Martin or Breonna Taylor, not enough. It's not going to work. It's about fitting in. So if you look like and you act like, it gets you over. But it's also used as a means to keep a foot towards us too. Cause it's kinda that's what it's done to do. And it's done in a way that compartmentalized to strategically uh, keep a dollar from us. That's what it ends up doing. I don't know how strategic they're gonna be though, because again, they got situations where um, some things will work, some things won't work. You know, so I don't know how good that is to do that. You know, ain't gonna change no attitude. We're talking about human beings. We're not talking about a candy bar or something that you give it another shot and you're doing, or a Coke or Pepsi. This is human beings. But some of them who have resentment and hostility and don't want to support reparations and don't want to acknowledge black folks and the divide, this is a way to doing it until it comes back to bite them. And that's what I think is going to happen. So that's a good question, though. 80 votes are in, 81% saying yes, poor choice. That's overwhelmingly. So if I can have a poll like this on this channel and people come up and respond like that, what's that say nationally? I think they will select certain people, but again, to do that, you have to have a distinction of what you're going to do. But he talks a guy a game until it actually happens. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that. Vote for him because he talks a game where he acts like he talks like a politician, even though he's a businessman. But again, one thing is said until it's actually done. That's another story. And then how you going to do it? How you going to do it exactly? He didn't said a lot of stuff. Yep. But has a shrewd, charismatic charm. Who had okay, yeah. Yeah, well, it's a big difference. But again, there's two different dynamics at work. Obama, though, had made the ranks as a grassroots politician, though. There's a difference. Kamala was a law professional person that was in the corporate. I don't know if he out of touch. I think that he's thinking that his charm and his persona and his suave and his strut and the way he can articulate is enough. People don't want smoke screen. Trying to be, it's not going to work all the way. I don't think he's out of touch. I think the things that got him over. She got picked by Biden. And it makes sense from the imagery. She's multiracial. She's a woman of color. That's true too, Ted. She's a woman of color. She middle aged, and she represents, a lot of within. So it made sense the timing. Multicultural alone, because if you think about Mariah Carey, you think about Tiger Woods, you think about Derek Jeter, Patrick Mahomes, she'd be like the mother of that. Okay, think about it. Imagery checks boxes. Well, no, no. Biden was defeated. He got to take care of his son. And no, Bernie wasn't going to win. Bernie is one of them white guys. Look, I think Bernie is like, if you like the old TV show MASH, Bernie's your kind of dude. But they think that he too left for the white. He's not doing anything that's going to be strategically. He makes some good comments and parts. They don't take Bernie logically serious because they think Bernie's talking off the deep end. And he's not that woke about nothing. He ain't never said anything about affirmative action, nothing. Bernie is a smart dude, well read, but no one's taking Bernie that serious though. Yeah, he can. He better do it too. He better. Because Trump won't. Glad to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sonia. Welcome aboard. And where you coming from? Glad to have you on board this evening. Thank you. This afternoon. Thank you. I think Obama and Biden were good because they were yin and yang. I know that Biden got because he was not a smooth type of personality. And as Ted said about you know, you know, Obama had a charm about him. He needed the roughness of Biden to connect the dots, and it worked. I'm living so UK right now. I think the problem with the Democratic Party, if I can honestly say, thank you so much, appreciate you. Um, the problem with the Democratic Party is that they got comfortable. Yep. They won't disappear, but what they'll do is they put him on the back burner. Oh, they can still go after him for different things. Make no mistake about it. I don't think that they really, I think that to be honest with you, they use talk, but they don't have direction. And that's why I don't understand. They're not this liberal conform. They're not liberal. But what they've done is they have stayed comfortable. There's a big difference. When people talk about you, so what are the liberal about? They're legislating the same things that they've been governed to allowed by the other parties. They're not dictating anything. When you talk about liberalization, you're talking about ability to do what you want in the sense that you can compartmentalize. They have to do everything in unison. They're not doing anything separate. There's nothing distinctive about them. As a matter of fact, the Democratic Party is just like the Republican Party in that they're adhering to certain rules, but they're not saying that, hey, we're going to open you up bank accounts or we're going to give you freedom papers or nothing like that. They're just working in concert. Yes. Thank you, Marty. That's true. They got money, you know. Sometimes I watched Michael Franchese's channel and he talks about Nancy Pelosi's father, and they are in business. Yep. But they work in the same unity. The Republican Party is not talking about that either. So there's really no end on either side. All they're doing is basically playing badminton with people's heads. It's just a matter of which way you want it to go. That's all. To me, there is nothing there. Yeah, and Michael Jackson too, because he spoke about that, and Mike Tyson, and he's had Ice T on his show, and Sammy the Bull Gravano, and he talks about John Gotti, and he talks about Costa Nostra and the families, and he goes into about the industry. He tries to downplay the music. I know he know more. And the whole thing about the car dealership thing I was cracking up. He's a reform minister now. He cracks me up, but he was very much Trump, and I wonder why. Because you know how Trump gets down with the Teamsters and Rudy Giuliani, all that stuff. I be watching him. I watch what he don't say though. hmm I watched that one show. Was it last week where he talked about when he was in lockup and the black dudes had the phone and he told the guy, I just need this phone, and he paid him. Uh, mhm. Oh, if you got to throw a game, it is profitable. No, they work around the contracts. You know how they work around the contracts? Because they break your arm if you don't pay. They work around it. So I got somebody here trying to troll. I've been on here a long time. They have had things thrown. They had thrown boxing matches. They've thrown World Series. They've thrown. It will. They ain't gonna care about your contract. How you think contracts are done? Negotiating points. Those are points. So contracts are tied to points. Contracts are like streaming. You have to hit a certain amount of data. Break your arm, break your fingers, leg injuries or something. Contracts are no different than the streaming deals. That's why it feels like it's my brand right now. When I look at Drake goes 1 billion times with his streams, right? Snoop comes out and says, if I sell 1 billion streams, all I get is what? Artists are complaining about not getting any money today because they go hand in hand. I can do that. Politics and sports do go hand in hand. Jackie Robinson was a representation of that. You work a job, you break ground, they create two territorials. A lot of people don't think about it like that. Let me give you an example of something that I want to talk about too before I go that I'm going to talk about. Shohei Ohtani is a great example of this. He's from Japan. He has a translator. He does says a couple things in English. The league MVP, National League, just won a World Series, right? Right? He has a translator. He's from another country. He's not going to be deported. He's the best player in baseball. Nikola Djokovic, Denver Nuggets, 3-time MVP, world champion, finals MVP. Speaks English, works here, lives here, plays for Denver Nuggets. He's not going to be deported. So you tell me who the immigrants that are so detrimental. Think about it from that context. I used the Shohei Ohtani one, and I dare anyone to tell me they're going to deport somebody. Yeah. So you can mix the both worlds. Shohei Ohtani came out with his translator when I was watching the end of the baseball game with Jeter, Ryde, Dave Ortiz. Ortiz is not from here either. They won't throw a whole season. A team, well, Sanders is like a commodity right now. Now, I'm going to share this with you. Shador can actually play, but this is actually going to be what I dare I say in a twisted way. This is the Bronny James effect. If you got a youngster that's associated with a famous athletic father who was great, this is where this will come into your pockets. This is going to be the new twisted thing. Just like the Manning kid that's in Texas with Archie, with Peyton and Eli, this family tree thing. But can you play? Now, because they get paid in college and everything, they make an income. That's the new thing. Yeah. Well, because teams suck and they want to get that name and they need that brand. And I understand it. And teams have always tanked. This is nothing new. They tank in all sports. They've been allowed to tank until they called them out on it in baseball and basketball. The NBA was notorious for tanking. I feel bad for fans who spend that kind of money, but teams do tank. This is where we get back into talking about the mafia. This is where we talk about mob and throwing games and stuff. There you go. If you're knowingly tanking, that's cheating. So what's the difference between stealing signs and dugouts or stealing codes and then tanking on purpose? It both takes out of the consumer's pockets of the fans in the cities and the places. I'm just saying. Stop me if I'm lying. It's legal, illegal hustle. That's politics. And you are tax write-off. So 88 votes now are in, 80% staying steady that she was a bad choice. Wow. Okay, I got 5 more minutes before I'm gonna call it a night. I got 5 more minutes because I've been on for 2+. This has been incredible. Give 5 more minutes. I've been enjoying everybody that's coming through. So keep on talking because we still got time. If I don't see anybody coming through, I will call it a night. But 88 votes so far. This is just amazing. I am really touched by all the, this is very moving, by the way. Please hit the likes and everything. So continue to smash up the likes. This is a great new high tonight. To quote Tony, feels good. But yeah, they do tank all the way to Lynn. It is another form of legal. Owners will take a hit. They don't lose no money and they all share in the ownership. Believe it or not, you're better off losing sometime than you are winning. It's twisted to say, but that's how it goes. It's capitalism. But everybody is paid the same. Yeah, I do. I think Larry Hoover will get, and that's a good one too, because Larry Hoover is due to get out. He just got through pardon Michael Harris from death row. I don't mind. Are you signed up to the membership? If you're signed up to the membership, feel free. I will take topics, of course, because Ted always gives me different things and stuff. But as I tell anybody, sign up to the membership and you're on directly, by all means. But yes, feel free. Well, he's locked up right now, but he might get out. I mean, he's got what is going. Well, uh, the last I heard about Suge is that, and I think if you watch Reggie Wright Jr., Reggie on Bomb First, watch Bomb First, he talked about that there's 2 cases coming up that Suge gets his attorney. He can appeal. He can't take the strike away, but he can appeal the deduction. So he might try to get him out pretty quickly in the next 4 or 5 years. He might catch a break. There's some language in there. There was something he was talking about. Jeff Fort, possible. So, but anyway, yeah, if you want to send something, by all means, I do different topics. I cover a wide range. We end up talking about sports mainly, and then we talk about music, but this political one is too hot and heavy. I'll probably be talking about some form of fashion of this political race for to probably at least December, if not until the new year at least. And I will have another Kamala Harris topic coming. It gives me an idea already where I want to go next. So, but yeah, I would imagine there will be something. So, well, I was only excited because Gladys Knight was performing and Shaka and Sheila E. and that was it. But as far as watching the actual performances, no, you're going to be disappointed. Glad to see Smokey Robinson. It's not nothing there. Because music today is just secondary to the music. You don't have the depth and the magnitude. You don't have those it artists, and that's the problem. You've got talent there, but you don't have it harnessed that people care about. It's fast food mindset today. And the industry. Suge's not gonna talk on Diddy because he doesn't want Diddy to be locked up. I think Diddy won't. I don't think he'll catch no fall for Pac. I don't. Keefy D, that's gonna be interesting. But they're not gonna link. I don't think they're gonna link Diddy to Pac. And Suge ain't got nothing to do with that because Suge is in the same boat as Diddy. They were hired puppets to seem like they were big dogs by an industry that paid off and owned the likes of Pac and Biggie. So they won't be touched. They won't be touched. Justice is a whole nother animal, though. But I don't think that's going to turn. Membership is whatever you want it to be. It should be available in the thing, whatever you want to donate or whatever it's in the thing. I think it's already in there, so you shall see it if you click on my studio. If you come into the thing, it should already say whatever you want to be. I've had some people donate. I've had some people do the super chat, different things. So whatever you want to do, there is actually a donation key up above here on my emblem. But whatever you want to do, that's all. I don't panhandle it, but I welcome it. Because if I see people showing dedication and coming through, then that motivates me to do more live streams. Because it does take time and effort, and I say that in all due respect, because I respect everybody's time and effort, but it does take time and effort to put together a good quality long show, which is this one has been tonight. And I want to make sure that I'm ready and sharp and ready. There's a lot of great topics to come through, so I'm very appreciative and thankful. So, but at the same time, I am me. Keep my wits about it. I don't know what that means, Carlitos, but I think it's trolling. And you guys to go, Will. But anyway, 91 votes are in so far. 78% saying yes. I think if more people had polls and done the live streams about Kamala Harris, she might not have been dissuaded to run. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I watched this one woman. She's a lawyer. She's got a channel on YouTube, and she was talking about Spotify. I'm going to do a video about that to when I do my next thing. They did with Napster. Napster came along, and then all the streaming services came. What they did is that they found a way to cut the artists out, so they can put your music up and pay you pennies on the dollar. Sheila E was talking about it. You do 1 million streams, you have to basically split money. You might get like anywhere from 10 grand or less and split it 4 or 5 ways. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. You have to stream a whole lot to genre anything. And they use streams for anything. The companies are getting paid hand over fist though. Because if you take 3 or 4 of the same songs and use them, you can use them on all the streaming platforms. But the artists don't get that. So if a stream goes for 5 million, the record companies may get like 2.5. They got to deal with the stream services. The artists, if they're lucky, might break 10,000. I try not to celebrate too many of any holidays if I must. I don't really take them too much too like that. I do acknowledge Kwanzaa. I like to burn a candle every day spiritually. But if I was to eat a dinner for Thanksgiving, it would be there's tofurkey, which I have had, and it's very good. I like tofurkey. I've had it as a meal with sweet potatoes and vegan vegan mac, or I might have a salad or something like that. You know, but it's not the same as it once was. I don't eat, like I said, I don't get into all that like that, and I don't acknowledge those holidays because a lot of them stuff is kind of not healthy psychologically. But there was still distribution. Universal Records and the companies are still around. Artists are still signed to deals. You know, they still have deals. Adele still has a deal. They still have deals. It's just that they got 360 deals now. They get your merch. They get your product. They have a hand in your clothing line. That's why you think Diddy had to get into alcohol and Jay-Z had to get into all that, and the marijuana and all the other stuff they do. They ain't no make no money, no music. The music is just a promotional tool. Obviously, if you publish it and you ghostwriting and if you can get your song on TikTok, getting one of them soundtracks, or get them on some commercial, or you get it into like a something that's gonna get played a lot, that's where you make your money. You ain't making no money by being on no record no more, because you got to do so much streaming. You got to have pretty much like 4 or 5 songs as a writer, and it's got to stream so much, and it's got to get into movies, it's got to get into TV. It's got to generate into different. It's not the way it was. Yes, you get paid, but it's got to generate a lot. I can. I will say a prayer for you, so Ray. Thank you. I will say a prayer for you. Thank you for that message too. That's the kind of message I like. I will definitely say a prayer for you. Appreciate you reaching out to me too. Prayers and thoughts are into India too. No, think about it. If you grew up you grew up on radio, right? Bless your soul. Bless your soul. If you grew up on radio and you heard a song played 5 times in a day, that's no different. That's what payola was. That's no different. Same thing. So what I do is I fast. I cleanse my body for a lot of hours. And then I walk and take a spot and walk. And then I drink water, then I eat. But you have to discipline your body and your mind. You have to almost be willing. There's certain things I still eat. I do like certain types of junk, but it's balanced. But I like to eat nuts and drink a lot of water, eat cereals, and then I like to just vegetables. But you have to psychologically be willing to do that. And you have to understand the cutting out that you don't need all that stuff. So it's a discipline that you have to work on. Lots of rest, relaxation, creativity, and be in tune. And it can be done. It can be done. But that's what they did, Carl. I mean, yeah. When you used to watch MTV, they play videos, all that. That's the part of it. That's the payola. It's the same thing today. Except you control it but it goes through your phone. People watch videos, the ringtone, all that stuff is connected. That's how they get the streams. Problem is the artists get the low end of the dollar though. They manipulate the numbers. That's why they took out the actual sales. So they made look everybody went sold records. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did. And pandemic life really helped out with it, because then I just walked a lot, biked a lot, couldn't go out nowhere. So I had to bring some exercise equipment. So it made me change how I ate, drunk, took care of myself. And you have to stay on it every day. It's tempting, because I'll tell you something. If you don't have to worry about your health, having all the so-called fun food is fun, but then it starts to not feel so good. So you have to take that into consideration. And when you do, you don't even have to say nothing. It just shows. I just do it every day, one day at a time. And you start to wake up, feel better, feel better. Yeah, VH1 Rap City, I used to watch all those too. And yeah, that was a different era. But it was payola too. They used to play the same artists, same videos, songs. I remember when VH1 didn't even play hip hop artists. Rap City was completely different. They were the counter to Yo MTV Raps. But I saw all that stuff, the box, the view, all that stuff. It was a different era. Different era. I remember VH1, if I go back in the 80s, Richard Marx was played, a lot of adult contemporary, Wilson Phillips, a lot of adult contemporary, you know, that was a different era. The Air Supply Network and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, you have to work out. You have to you have to stay on your grind if you're gonna be serious about it. You can't talk about it, you gotta be about it. That's all I do. And then you have to understand, I for me, as a black man, I know I have to be extra careful because we don't have the longest life expectancies most times, and also the diet. So I don't really like going to doctors and stuff like that if I don't have to. So I understand the power of walking and taking charge of stuff and staying away from certain things. So that's just common sense stuff that's all. So, but I like to get into it. So, we all do. We all do. I mean, and again, that takes time. That's just discipline. But you start with something that you can concentrate on. Like if you like nuts, you like berries, you like water, something simple. Then you do like what I call at least 10-15 minute walks a day. Or just get you a little exercise equipment at your home, like a medicine ball or something, just little things. That's all. Do little lifting, jumping jacks, for instance. If you can do at least 5 to 10 jump jacks, you don't have to work out all day. You can do like a 10 minute, start off 10 minute, slowly, slowly. Books are good too. I mean, like if you read books, if you're, anything that helps your mind creatively. But I'm pretty disciplined now where I don't even have to eat a lot, feel good. I do eat cookies. I eat once in a while candy, not too much. And I have some health based type of chips that I like. But I like popcorn more than anything. But I got to have my fruit. So banana for potassium or oranges or grapes. So that's all I'm going to say with that. But yeah, it's one day at a time. It took work, you know. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, let me get it real quick because before I go, I'll show you something real quick. Hold up. I can't, if you can see, I have my weights right here. So you just, you're doing your weights, stuff like that. I have a Thigh Master, which is like right there. The old Susanna Summers Thigh Master, which she used. This is the rope I use sometimes for like, you use it for squats. And then I got like handheld weights right here. You do these, just squeezing. That don't even take that long. And then I have a medicine ball. So this right here is a medicine ball. So you just crunch. You do that. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to end up doing. So I might consider that. I might consider that. But that's just some of the stuff that I do. I'm going to take a couple more questions before I go because I've been on for a while. I got to get ready to go. But let's see. Yeah, they probably put him in, but it'll be like, again, it'll be posthumous and it's going to be so sad. That man should have been in the Hall of Fame while he was alive. Yeah, he will. I'm gonna go in about a couple minutes because I gotta get myself together. But we'll be back at this rate with this amount of numbers and reaction. I'll be back probably tomorrow. I think I might come back tomorrow. Definitely Saturday though. Yeah, P Rose should get in though. He should get in. So anyway, that was some of the exercises that I do, and I'm gonna be working on them. So 95 votes, 78% says that. So I think I'm going to stop with that because there's been quite a few amount. This has been crew great totality. Okay. I think we're going to call it a night right here. And appreciate everyone that came through. Great questions, great topics. Well, I could show you, like I can show you distantly if you ever like. But first thing I would tell you, just get a little walk, a little walk, drink more water, and certain fruits, and just relax your body. But try not to think too much about food, if you can. Listen to music, relax your mind, and just kind of just, slowly ease yourself. I tell you what, if we stay in touch, if you get in touch with me offline on my regular video, look me up on Facebook. Send me a friend request on Facebook. And we can get in touch, and that way I'll show you. Oh, Ted, you back? Okay, yeah. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, P. Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, though. It's criminal to the end. Yeah, but I didn't talk about Kamala Harris yesterday. This is a whole different, this done taken a whole different level. Yesterday was big. I thought yesterday I was knocked out, but this is like humongous. But I don't mind. I believe that the channel will continue to grow. I think with the support of great folks that come through. The only time that has happened to me, what I don't like is when we were in line in the grocery store, and I'm trying to be respectful for people who are trying to get their money out, take care of their card or whatever they're doing, and their food in the line, and someone wants to stack behind you. Okay, if you want to give me your email, I'll hit you back because I'm not gonna, if that's okay, if you give it to me now. Well, what happened though? I've had some issues with some people, but I told them I'm waiting till the person in front of me goes, and ain't nobody gonna rush me. So, if you want to give it to me here, Lynn, that's cool. I'll write it down. Nobody is going to come in here and intercede because you're gonna know it's me. I have a very distinctive email. What happened to it? And Lynn, go ahead, tell me. I'm gonna get ready to go in just a second. Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay, cool. Any way you want to come through me, yeah, we'll get in touch though. That's the only reason why I wish that you were on Instagram or Facebook or something, because then that way you give me your, what your that is your real, if that is your name, uh, I would reach out to you. But yeah, okay. Diddy, ain't nobody gonna Diddy you in no line. I ain't never heard nobody getting Diddy at the checkout line unless you had some alcohol. You got some alcohol, you might get Diddy. Yeah, I again, and the Diddy thing is for people who look like they vulnerable too. They pick their targets. They don't just pick Diddy on anybody. That's one thing I do know. Oh Lord, oh romp roll. Oh yeah, that might be a problem. That might be a problem. I am one more vote away from 100 votes for the day. This is crazy. So Crisscross left, was it? Oh, Jada Pinkett Smith messed with one of them boys when he was 15. You heard about that? Membership should be, I should actually, it should, when you sign up to the members, they should have you logoed on the bottom. Thank you so much. Appreciate you too. And one thing I've noticed with channels, when people have membership, they are private because it comes up in the logos. So that way I can track it. So if you click on my thing and you sign up through that, that should make a contact and I should be able to scoop you. This is crazy. I've never had 100 votes before. This is amazing. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, I don't vote for nobody. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is the numbers are off the chain. I can't believe this is actually happening. Well, I can. I put the work in it, but you know what I mean. I just like, wow. Yeah, memberships are private usually with everything. And then uh, when people correspond, they are hidden from the others because no one comes through. I don't do that. I'm never going to be confused. First of all, Dyson used too many big words. I can't keep up. And second of all, I'm not going to be corporately bought because I don't want to go to no networks. And I'm not going to be like, what's his butt who cries all the time on CNN? The brother that used to hang out with Prince with the glasses. You know what I'm talking about. Why am I not thinking about him right now? Because he cried last night about Kamala. He used to hang out with Prince all the time. You know what I'm talking about. Where's the glasses? Yeah, Van Corny Jones. Old Van Corn Jones. Okay, cool. That's fair enough, Lynn. Old corny Van Jones. He's the opposite of Anthony Davis. You know how Anthony goes, "Ah," Van goes, "Ooh," glasses get all steam and rolling. I can't do nothing with Van. That's fair enough, Lynn. That's fair enough. We will make contact. I know we will. And there won't be no problem. I don't have anybody troll me on my business, so I usually know because when I get my email, I know. And I haven't had any problems with nobody trying to, so. But anyway. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it a night right now. But no, there won't be none of that, T. You ain't gotta worry about that. I keep it 100. Couldn't do it if I wouldn't do it and couldn't do it if I tried because for too many reasons. Because I know where I am as a man and I know what I've been through as a man and I know what it's like being a black man going through stuff. So that's not in the DNA. Because I didn't go through some stuff with some of these folks and this stuff and it ain't paid me enough, you know. But you have a great night and thank you again for everything. And we will be back probably live tomorrow. Of course they do. Of course they do. For Vince McMahon gonna get that pardon, even though he don't need a pardon, he gonna get a pardon. I already know the fix is on. That's what people who running behind him don't see. You know, I ain't forgot. We have good people on both sides. You think I forgot that? You think I forgot that? I ain't forgetting nothing. They have though. They gonna find out the hard way though. They gonna find out how he rolled. Eddie Griffin up there dancing and happy. We'll see. We'll see. Lord Jamar. And again, I don't have a dog in the race. I just don't see how you can get happy about somebody that, you know. Oh yeah, Eddie Griffin's all on comedy hype. You ever watch comedy hype? Oh yeah, he dissed Kamala bad. He all Trumpy uppy uppy uppy. Oh yeah. Eddie gone. Eddie got it bad. You don't you yo, so I watch comedy hype. George Wallace was pro Kamala. D.L. Hughley, of course, but Eddie hardcore for Trump. Oh yeah, Eddie bad. Eddie blatant with it. And what's that singer? What's her name? She lied and said she was going for Kamala and she got in the booth and changed it. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Well, he was undercover brother, so hey, what you expect though? The guy's always been a third tier comedian. Hood jokes, and that's what he got. So what you expect? You gotta remember something. He's an actor. Remember about acting. tours. And you get out there and you start role playing. I don't know. I know it's my cue to go though. Listen, cats are bought by the industry. That's all I'm gonna say. Bought by the industry. That's all I'm gonna say. You can run with it however you want to run with it. If you're an Hollywood actor and you got a SAG card for Screen Actors Guild, you are an actor. You're always role playing. Remember that. They are all actors. TV personalities include athletes. It's all entertainment. As long as you remember that, you ain't gonna ever get disappointed. That's all I gotta say about that. Be careful who you call a hero, because a hero is like a sandwich, like the movie. And believe me, they'll take a bite out of you and like it. Just saying. So, you know, I will definitely be back tomorrow, though. Well, that's too easy because, again, you know, I know why she got over. I know about Keenan Ivory Wayans. She used brothers to get in the industry. She got over on Living Color. Her ex-husband's still crying about the money. Oh yeah, well, I followed her. I remember when she did the Selena movie. How you think she got to do the Selena movie? You think because she was on that Hood TV show on South Central with Lawrence Tate. Like when Lawrence Tate, right when he did the Royal Family and right before after Minister Society. She was a fresh face on there too. She looked different then, but she looked more ethnic. But she cut her chops behind Rosie Perez. That's why her and Rosie fell out. And so she got the Selena movie. You don't get those kind of roles because, they find 99 like you, but she did whatever it took to do whatever she took. She used the culture to blow herself up. Again, I saw her back then. Yep. And that's what she thought she was going to do with Affleck. He might be drunk most of the time. He ain't that drunk. But this whole thing then backfired on her. She been bought and paid for, so. So, yep. Funny how she didn't gotten lighter and A-Rod didn't gotten darker. And Sammy Sosa got whiter too, but that's a whole nother story. I but yeah. A-Rod didn't gotten darker. A-Rod got a tan now, yo. He missed a potato head. But she's always, yeah. What's up? I'm getting ready to split. So that's what it do. I've been here for almost 3 hours. I gotta call it a day though. Yeah, he seems like he's got something that's on his mind too. Gone through some life lately. He looking more like his dad now. But anyway. He's gone through a lot of situations, probably at home and politics. So it's a lot of stuff going on that we don't know about. So there we go. I finally got my double figures on the likes. Appreciate it. So yeah. 76% saying, yeah, she wasn't cut out for it. So it's 3/4. Yeah, he gone through life. I ain't protesting against nothing because I don't have no dog in the race. I saw it coming and I knew it was going to come because he was selected. When you're selected, it's written. There's nothing you can do. Anyway, I'm gonna call it. I gotta go now, though, for real. I will be back tomorrow. Appreciate everybody that came through. Uh, well, now, because if you messing with a woman that went by Jeter's with a basket, that's almost like messing with a woman that went by Bill Clinton's and had an old dress that she said, "I ain't had this blue dress in 5 years. Look at it. It's got a little mark." You might want to consider that. You might want to consider that to be. I don't think we will continue this conversation. So, but Jeter gave gift baskets and other things too, and it just, yeah, that's what happened. So I remember. I remember. Those were the 90s. Between Bill Clinton and the blue dress with Monica and the Jeter basket, not to the same extent. He got around though. He got around, but obviously he was a disciplined, low key cat though. He kept his business on the low though. Wilt was loud. That's the difference. Wilt let everybody know. Jeter was low key pimping. He was low key with his business. He must have taken a good cue from Reggie Jackson, the opposite of what Reggie was, because Reggie was front and center with his women's, but Jeter was low key with his for the most part. And they were always high end models, actresses, entertainers type. And they all had a certain look and style, so they weren't gonna ever be, you know. But he got around though. So did A Rod, but A Rod, yeah, that's another story though. Well, because Aaron Boone got out coached. They lost it the way they lost. It looked like they didn't belong on the field. You would be too, because this is what Jeter's time to shine. Your superstar player only had one game that counted, and your pitcher did all right, but they got beat in many different ways. They got out hustle, they got out muscle, they got flexed on. They lost the rap verses. So yeah, if you would take it personal. Cause it ain't things ain't the way they used to be. If you're a Yankee fan, things ain't the way they used to be. And Jeter is the last remembrance of that almost. I know I heard some people trying to say about A Rod and Judge, but it's a different ball game. Aaron Judge was not considered the same player as Alex Rodriguez. When Alex Rodriguez went through his thing, he was considered one of the great players all through his career. Um, Aaron Judge got great late. He was a late bloomer. Big difference. We're gonna talk about this tomorrow. When I come back on, I'll talk more about the thing. But A Rod was a better player through his career than Aaron Judge was, and Aaron Judge is in a different stage than A Rod because he doesn't have the same pressure A Rod did. A Rod had pressure. A Rod left Seattle, took Texas money, got traded to Boston, fell through, came to Yankees. It's different levels, and he was facing. Plus, he was playing with his best friend. Originally from the East Coast in America, and I am getting ready to close it. Appreciate everybody that came through. Peace out. The best to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true. We're gonna do this again. God willing tomorrow. I'm out.